when they would do the little person tag team wrestling when we were kids.
Loved it.
Did you love it?
Yeah, I did.
I
hated the women.
Me too.
I was like, this is a
I
waste
didn't
of
need
my
the
time.
Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah,
that was her
always
name, the
what am I
Fabulous
watching this
Moolah.
for? And I hated when in WWF,
Right, that was my
like
thing.
Linda, they got loose where like a girl would come in and like slap a guy in the face and be like, she's a tough customer. I'm like, nah, not really.
Yeah, not if. Yeah.
Hey, who's tougher than that girl? Except a whole bunch of dudes, you know?
More Norm. Please.
Oh my God, runner. You know, I was gambling once. I was in Moose Jaw, Saskatoon. That's Canadian Plains there, you know. And you always remember the hands you lose, not the ones you win. You know?
Norm, were you a Bruno Sammartino fan?
Oh my God, I love those shorts he wore. That's the thing with those wrestlers. They always wear those weird shorts, you know. Nowhere else. Like there's no, if you go on vacation, you know, and you're like, hey Brian, I'll be right out. I'm gonna put on my swim trunks. And I put on my swim trunks, we'll all jump in the ocean, you know. And you're out there in your board shorts, you know. Like Brian saying there's board shorts, those guys wear, you know. They come down like just above your knee, those board shorts, you know. And Brian's like, I'll be right out here in my board shorts, you know. And then I got on those Bruno Sammartino shorts. You'd be go, oh my God, what the H? What are you wearing? What's going? I'm like, oh no, these are my shorts. Yeah, those look like something a pro wrestler would wear, man.
Do you remember when Bruno Sammartino suddenly decided?
I don't remember anything about that era of wrestling because I wasn't born yet. Norm Macdonald and Gerald. We're recasting Brokeback Mountain. Okay? Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up in the woods here, you know. There's only one sleeping bag, you know. But I'm not gonna lie to you, you know. I could tell you, you know, that it was a mistake on my part, but it wasn't. You know, I was kind of hoping we could share the sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me unzipper the tent.
Hey, how about you unzip a whole bunch of other things there, you know?
All right, you want to keep your eyes. You want to do it face to face, or?
Oh my God! You got so much whiskey and chili on your breath. Maybe I should face you. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna face this way, Gerald. You scooch up behind me, you know, and
Oh, you want to go ham bone style?
ham bone style. Oh my God! What the H is ham bone style? Why don't you just spoon me? Oh my God, Gerald, that's you, all right? Yeah, that's him.
Hey, you want me to just whispers in your ear just a little bit?
Well, slow down, Gerald. Where's the fire? You know, we're all alone up here in this tent. I don't know what you got to get to. It's not like there's TV. It's not like there's a damn TV outside. It's just you and I in the woods, you know? Slow it down, Gerald.
Norm, this is called fishing. Oh, I can't quit you.
That's all I was waiting for, was for you to say that, Gerald. The whole time when I said, hey, what about this? I'm just sitting there going tick, 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 like the 60 Minutes clock. Oh.
It's too. When I was 6, I changed my name to Louis.
Louis Gum.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got
how you
everybody
doing?
in the neighborhood. There are still kids today. Well, they're not kids anymore, and they're in their 40s. So when they see me, they call me Louis or Lou because
Back up, Louis.
I insisted that the neighborhood kids call me Louis because I was in love with Lou Ferrigno from The Incredible Hulk.
Did you know he was deaf at the time?
Oh, I knew everything there was. You could
Really?
only know like
'Cause I didn't
six
know till, like,
you could only know like 6 things about any celebrity back then. It was pre-internet, so you just
true.
anything you got was from TV Guide or from Parade magazine.
I didn't know that about Lou Ferrigno until he was like a guest voice on Adventure Time, the cartoon.
But what
I'm
about
like,
Pumping Iron? Didn't you see Pumping Iron and worship it?
I was like, that sounds like Lou Ferrigno, but
I'm training on him.
But if he was deaf,
He was less.
yeah, that sounds like Lou Ferrigno, you know. But like, if he was a deaf guy, like if Lou Ferrigno was like a deaf guy lifting weights, like, hey, how many more sets do you have left? You know, and he didn't say anything because he can't hear. He can't hear anything, you know. So he goes, hey, don't bother that guy when he works out. He's real intense. Oh my God, he's deaf. Why did you tell me?
Frequent question down at the Gold's Gym there was, hey, what are you, deaf there?
Hey,
What are you, deaf?
hey, Han. I got a great Norm one for you that I heard. They told me I was just at Governor's. Yeah, Norm goes, this is Norm Macdonald. This is an actual joke of Norm Macdonald. It's not mine. I'm not doing Norm Macdonald's joke. I'm sharing how funny Norm Macdonald is with the listeners. He goes, abbreviations fascinate me, you know. One I really like is ID. Like, hey, Gary, Louis Goldman You got any ID? That's a great abbreviation, because I, the letter I, that stands for I. Then the D,
That's true.
that stands for dentification. What the H? I think the D is doing all the heavy lifting there, That's an abbreviation for one of them,
But put that joke in somebody else's hands, and it's corny and tacky.
I could make it work as Colin. That would kill for Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I stands for I, D stands for identification.
Yeah, that's true.
I think D's doing the heavy lifting on that one. It's definitely the John Hall of the abbreviation, relationship.
Yeah, I was
I
always
is like
fascinated by
Garfunkel
the,
waiting in the wings going, are we getting back together or what? Stop hanging out with Lorne
abbreviations.
Michaels.
So I didn't always come in with like full sketches, whereas Tom, I remember Tom was the guy who would always come in with like
Neil
solid.
Macdonald was that guy. You guys didn't have to pitch to like an oligarch. Like you didn't have like a guy you had to pitch to.
No.
You had autonomy pretty much, right?
Right, but that's
until
why
they asked you to have a recurring sketch and you shoved up their ass and dipped my balls in it. It's so all right, you know what? Fuck it. Go to YouTube and just type in "dip my balls in it."
Last Supper, but Louis in the Last Supper.
Louis in the Last Supper. But really, you got to see Burning Love, you guys. And we're gonna talk a lot about it. But we all had to pitch to Lorne, and then I realized early that I would pitch all like my real ideas and I wanted to impress everybody, and I would give and then this happens, and then this is the joke, and then this is, and the big twist is this at the end. So then when it got to the table for table read in front of 40 people, no one laughed because I did the sketch in the room, and then I realized a couple months in there was the art of the fake pitch, and Kevin Nealon and Norm Macdonald, it was like a contest every week to see who could come up with the fucking weirdest fake pitch that the host believed was actually happening, and the rest of the room we all knew it wasn't. Lorne knew it wasn't.
That's awesome.
But I remember Kevin Nealon every week would do 2 fake pitches and go, also I have this idea where you live at the top of one of those runaway truck ramps, in your house all the way up there. And it's like dinner time. A truck comes flying through your house, man. And the host would go, yeah, this is funny. But every week. And we would all just be laughing so hard. And the host is looking around yeah, that is funny, right? But we're laughing because the host is a fucking moron. And then Norm, I remember, it was Bob Newhart goes, I got this idea. People always confuse literally and figuratively. A guy will go, hey, how was that movie you just saw, And I go, oh, my God. It was so funny. I literally laughed my head off. But he didn't, because he's got a head still. And Bob Newhart just stared at Norm like, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. And then Norm, like a dog with a chew toy, was like, I'm not leaving this room until, they fucking locked the doors like a prison movie.
He's going to break him?
Yeah. And he goes, or you go, hey, how's your wife? Well, she literally died. When she got your message, she literally dropped dead right there on the floor. She's died. She literally died, and now he's moving closer.
Did Newhart break at a certain point?
Yeah, eventually he just fucking won. And then that week, Norm did a sketch where he was Charles Kuralt, and he was the only. It was just Charles Kuralt alone talking to camera, and we're all in full Charles Kuralt makeup, unrecognizable, and you're like, how the fuck do you his fake sketches were better than anything I ever actually got on air.
He's amazing, isn't he? He's an amazing guy.
He is amazing.
He's a
and
super
his
funny
comedy,
guy.
I got heard for 2 years. I'd go to a comedy club and they'd go, yeah, Norm was here last week. It was pretty fucking weird, dude. And I'm like, what? And my wife and I would go what's going on with I hope he's okay, And then you see his Comedy Central special. Perfect.
Right.
So the joke's on everybody across the country. Yeah, he was really weird. He's got these other guys following him. Weird. Every town had a different. I think he was super high. And another town's he really gambled. And another town, he came in with 19 men. Weird, that strange. He made us bathe. He had to be bathed, or he wanted something for his feet. And then just you see his Comedy Central special. Perfect. My father died. My grandfather died. My great-grandfather died. To the best of my knowledge, he's dead, I come from a long line of death. And you're just this is perfect comedy. So, however it works for you, I guess.
Yeah.
You were on Jim Brewer's show.
He's a great guy.
I've noticed, this is what I've come to realize. In my life, I'm 42 years old. There's not a comedian alive. That includes Carlin, Pryor, Robin Harris, Cosby, anybody that has made me laugh harder, more uncontrollably, longer, and in different ways than Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer has made me laugh
talented.
like a fucking mental patient more than anybody alive.
And he's sweet. And
He's so sweet. But when he's just telling stories about going to a Metallica concert, gone. Like he hits something in me.
Well, you heard he had a great Norm story about taunting Chris. What's his name? I forgot his name. Man, I'm old. Where you can't think of names. The guy, you have rage, because you're gay.
Chris Titus?
No, on Saturday Night Live.
I don't. Chris Kattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's listen to his great story of doing Norm taunting Chris Kattan. Right.
So your story is about another guy that has a story about a guy who had a story. That's what you're going out on. That's your closer
I know.
here.
I've been quoting.
Hey, Jim told a story about Norm, who had a story about Chris Kattan. You should ask him about it. That's your fucking big. That's your story.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have big endings, but yeah. He again. You know what I get mad when the people are great. Instead of going, Rob Bartlett's a great guy.
Wonderful man.
Wonderful.
One of the nicest guys. One of the hardest working. Rob Bartlett is in like the choir or in a Broadway
he got
show.
me on Imus without
and then
asking.
he does Don Imus.
Then he tried to get me on Opie and Anthony without me asking. Artie Lang, what a sweet guy.
Artie, a legendary episode of this podcast was in my hotel room in New York with Artie.
Oh, I listened.
They
to
brought
it,
up
yes.
pots of coffee, and you could tell who the two addicts in the room were. My wife's just sitting there relaxing and smoking. Artie and I are having like a coffee contest. It wasn't until like 6 cups in where we realized, oh, why don't we just slow it down and actually just relax?
Yeah.
Oh, he had a great Norm story.
When he's,
He had a great story. He was opening for Norm in San Francisco, and Norm goes, hey, we're in San Francisco, so don't do any of that fag shit, And he's like, what? And he goes, San Francisco. There's a lot of gay guys here. They live here in San Francisco. So just when you go up there, don't do any of that fag shit. And Artie's like, all right, like didn't plan on it. And then Artie does 20 minutes. Norm goes up and goes, hey, what's with this AIDS? They say it's like the worst disease in the world, But I saw on the news today, AIDS does not discriminate. And that's nice.
Oh, no.
So I don't know why is it so bad. Hey, don't do any of that fag shit. So maybe if Norm was on the set of Suddenly Susan, he could be like, you're a homophobe. You're not holding Maddie's hand. You're just on the wrong shows with the wrong
He
people.
would taunt me, go, yeah, look at Stoller.
I can't believe you were bullied by Norm Macdonald.
Why don't you believe that?
Because Norm is just like the unicorn. Like nobody really
Really?
has conversations with Norm, let alone.
He would kind of, he would.
I'm going to kick your ass, Fred.
No, not threaten to beat
Me
me
and
up.
Billy Joe Shaver.
Not threaten to beat me up, but just kind of like
Teasing you a lot.
I know you're at the end, but him and Cato were friends, and they would just be
Him and who?
assholes. Cato Kalin, the biggest piece of shit.
So
You
Cato
didn't watch the
Kalin.
whole Artie thing. We talked about it.
No, I
yeah.
didn't. I fell
Oh.
asleep. It was on late. That's not because you were
Right.
boring. I mean,
him and Norm were best friends. He was Norm's lifeline.
hey,
or something.
Cato Kalin.
They were friends.
So
and they would
Cato
play
Kalin
tennis.
would heckle you too?
Well, we one time meet Cato and Norm played tennis, and I got a flat tire, and they were driving, laughing at me because I was on the side of the road. And Cato would kiss up to Norm.
But they didn't stop to help you with your
No,
flat
they
tire.
they stuck their heads out the window, were laughing as they drove by.
What jerks.
Yeah,
You should go on Norm's podcast.
Well, I did.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah,
Oh.
and
Well, you don't need my help at all, do you?
no. Yeah, and
Was it fun? Did you
it
bring
was.
up the fact that he bullied you?
I
Or were you afraid because he was a
I
bully?
was a little afraid that I'd get busted, and about the book. But he goes, I don't care. Norm didn't care. Yeah, I go, I said, Norm, I have to be honest. You're in the book, and I said something. He goes, I don't care.
Last time I got heckled bad was at Motor City Casino in Detroit. And I was doing Norm Macdonald. But the thing about the Norm Macdonald impression is
You're at the Motor City Casino in Detroit.
Hey, man,
So-
I'm down. I love the D.
Yeah.
But I'm doing Norm.
I mean-
But the thing about a Norm impression is you have to ramble and circle it back around. Like it's got to get a little uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was doing Demi Moore. Oh my God, Demi Moore went to the hospital for that exhaustion there. Exhaustion. Oh my God. You know where I go where I'm exhausted, John? Home. Whenever I'm tired. I never went to the hospital. And it's this whole long thing about being on a construction site. And me and my friend John and Eric, like, hey, what do you say after work? We go to the emergency room to rest, and I just keep going and going. And like right next to me, like right there, she goes, what the fuck is he talking about? And I go, there's always one cunt, And I did it in the impression. And that person emailed me on my website and said, I was the cunt. I'm sorry,
funny.
but I was really confused.
Oh,
and everyone explained to me what was happening after the fact.
What was
Tell us about Norm stealing your jacket.
Well, when I did Norm's show, this denim. When I saw Artie Lang, he goes, "Hey, that's a great." Well, I'm doing Norm. You know how you do Norm. Someone did Norm. It almost sounds like Bob Dylan. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
and growing in the wind.
Yeah, Fred Stoller.
I saw Norm. It was kind of sad. I saw him. No, I heard him on Mark Maron's podcast, WTF, and he goes, "Yeah, all these people do impressions of me, And I'm like, "Oh my God, I sound like a fucking retard." And I'm like, "That's not how I sound." And then now every time I do Norm Macdonald at the Melrose Improv, I'm like, "He's fucking here. Watch, he's here, and he's like super aware of the fact." Oh my God, Fred Stoller wrote a book,
And I'm the antagonist, apparently.
I stole his jacket, I'm like, hey, Fred.
I really need those jackets.
Hey, tell us about that jacket, Fred.
When I did his show, I knew him a little bit, but then he heard that I was playing tennis. Hey, let's go play. So people don't know who Lori Joe is. I don't know how to explain what she is.
His
assistant. And
she was the writer's assistant when I was on Saturday Night Live.
So
Lori Joe.
We joined. She paid for some tennis club right by Warner Brothers. You worked there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You did Jay and Mary?
I think I hold serve, Hey, how's that? How's Epi doing, man?
But this is how pathetic I am. I fantasized being on this podcast. And fantasize Jay doing Colin Quinn going, yeah, Stoller's got a book. Him, Leon Roth, and Philip. Yeah, Stoller. That's what we want to read. Philip,
Hey, Fred, why don't you just tell everybody how Norm took your jacket?
just real literature. Oh,
You just
Stoller.
keep going around in circles instead of telling everybody. Jay's like, tell us about how Norm stole your jacket. And it's like 10 minutes later, you're like, yeah, tennis club.
Okay, yeah,
what is he talking about?
I don't need to tell a whole
Like
tennis
Yakim
story.
Noah is in the corner going, even I don't like tennis as much. Jesus, Fred.
So basically, all right, long story short, as the late Warren Thomas would say.
Too
it's
late.
Too late for that. I
like how you credit that one guy, Warren Thomas, like that was his.
no one else?
Nobody, no, only people that age and younger.
Well, he's the one who I learned that from. Okay, so Lori would pick us up, and I left the jacket in a car. He didn't go premeditated. I'm going to steal that denim jacket. It looks nice, but I left it there, and I didn't have the money now. Now I wouldn't care about buying Sinatra recommendations, denim jackets. So he said, Norm, I said, Norm, I want my leather my denim jacket. Yeah, you and that jacket. I go, Norm, it's a new jacket. That's not new. And he just, he would taunt me. I go, Norm, yeah, that's a shitty jacket. So I made, and I was supposed to.
Wait, so why does he have your jacket? I'm confused.
Lori would pick us up and play tennis.
Right.
So, so I left it there because it got hot. We were
in
playing
tennis or in her car?
I guess in a car.
And then he just
assumed it was his, or
absconded
she
with it,
took
yeah.
it. Yeah, he didn't go, ooh, a jacket.
Right,
like a
but
cartoon.
then every time you asked for it, he just completely downplayed it like
he'd
you were...
go, I'd wave his hand in disgust. You and that jacket.
Fred and his jacket,
Yeah. Now, why do you want that jacket? So I go,
Really?
Yeah. He was a bit of a bully. He would taunt me. You know what I always say with Norm? He wanted to be like how Stern had, Larry, the mentally challenged guy, because you can't say, hey, elephant schmuck, Rippy boy, and Lori was Robin.
Wait,
laughing.
is this one of your basketball leagues or is this...
I can't. This
is the expansion team.
That's funny. They can't get on the regular mentally challenged team.
Mr. Rippy and Elephant Schlong.
Well,